Welcome in. I am so happy to see you here tonight for my weekly card class for Maine. And it is a little bit late. I'm running later than usual. It is 8:30 on the East Coast, which is maybe nice for people that are on the West Coast, right? Because it's a little bit nicer into your evening schedule, perhaps. And obviously, if you're on the East Coast, maybe you're already in bed. You're going to watch this on replay. YouTubers, hello. You're watching replay as well, because I do record this live on Facebook. So here we are. We are going to be doing the Delightful Wishes card class tonight. And as you pop on to Facebook with me live, I would love to know if you can see and hear me. I did message my Facebook, my Maine Staper page, and I said, hey, I'm running late, so it's going to be a half an hour late. So hopefully you guys will still find me. I know it's not the usual. We are exploring a little bit here into the spring mini catalog, and I was really delighted with the Delightful Wishes. Actually, I was playing with it so long that class is late. The teacher is late for class. Hi, Kathy. Okay, thanks for letting me know. We are good. It's so good to have you here. So me and Kathy are going to have a private class. If no one else shows up, Kathy, it's me and you. And I've got some really great cards. I actually have one that I'm pretty sure I'm going to send to Donna. So shh, don't tell her, right? Hi, Patty. It's good to see you here. So these are going to be some beautiful cards. They may not be exactly what you expect. When you look at the Delightful Wishes suite in the catalog, there is a lot of yellow. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Linda. Thanks, guys, for jumping on with me so late this evening. Just side note right now, this is going to be a little bit of a longer class because I didn't prep like I normally do. So I'm gonna walk you through your card kits just like you would get them in the mail. And hi, Lynn and Jess. So I'm gonna show you everything: stamping, die cutting, all the things that you have to do, and all the things that I already did for you that you'll be getting in your card kits when I ship them out. I just want to say hi, Michelle. It's good to see you. That these card kits, if you order with me, I have you order between Monday and Friday during the week, because that's when I kind of know when my class is. Over the weekend is kind of like a gray area. So if you were to order over a Saturday or Sunday and say to me, you know what, I want last week's class, I would give that to you. And if you say maybe you order on a Saturday and Sunday, and normally I'm going to ship you the next Monday's class, but those actually go out in the mail the following Monday or Tuesday, depending on the mail service. So sometimes as you're ordering with me, it may be a full week before I get these in the mail to you. So I just wanted to explain that to you. My class runs Monday to Friday, and then I'm supposed to be cutting paper over the weekend and shipping them to you on Monday, the following Monday, right? So I just mailed out all of last week's Everyday Arches class, hit the mail today. So that's kind of how the schedule goes, just to clear that up, because I've had a few questions lately about when classes will ship. So if you ever are unsure, please just message me. You can text me, email me, Facebook message me, whatever you want to do. Call me on the telephone. I would love to talk to you. So, all right, let's get going. We have a few friends and we have a lot to do tonight, right? So let me pop over. I'm looking for my transition button, which I think I transitioned. Yay, it's over there. Okay, so as you continue to jump on, please say hi. I love to know who's hanging out with me. I don't always see the comments at this point of the show because I'm busy doing the crafty things, but I do like to read them later on. This is, again, the Delightful Wishes card class. Your $45 order gets you 4 card kits. A $55 order is going to get you the 4 card kits and the ribbon, and this ribbon is just back in stock now. This is a nice ribbon because it's really thin. And it's really, because it's thin, it's not bulky when you mail it. I love this ribbon. And it's yellow, right? I mean, how cute is this? So you get this with your $55 order. If you go to 60, you're going to get a celebration item as well. With the ribbon and the card kits, my host code is BJS4EY3W. This is good through, as mentioned, Friday, 1/31. So I'm going to be using this beautiful ribbon on every card today. These are the card kits. Okay, yeah. Let's look at this. Oh my gosh, I got stuff everywhere. I'm so excited. Delightful Wishes. I adore this. Now, I didn't know I would adore it as much as I do, and that's very typical of me. Sometimes I get something and I'm like, I don't know if I really like it, but I'm going to get it because I want to try it out, right? Now, I'm trying it out so you can check it out. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to get it. But if you like it, you can get it, right? But wishing is a big sentiment here. And then these go with all the little sentiments. Wishing you were here, wishing you all the best, wishing you a happy birthday, wishing you lots of love, wishing you well. So you got 1, 2, 3, or 5 different kinds of wishing. And of course, this wishing is going to go with any happy birthday sentiment you already have. This is, you're going to see here, some 2-step stamping. So we've got this flower 2-step stamping. These are your flowers here. There's a really little crazy branch, some leaves, little flower burst here. I'm going to walk you through how to set these up because I had to do some homework to figure this out. Like, this isn't like an easy, like, oh, I can do this really easily. This one takes a little bit of effort, I think. But what wowed me really was the dies. So in this die set, we've got 2 sheets of dies. The wishing, we have a bigger outline that will outline your stamp image. And then we have a really intricate die, which I'm going to recommend you get some adhesive sheets for this little skinny die. You're going to want the adhesive sheets. It's got a cute little label, and it is tiny, but it does fit all of this, the little you were, you know, wishing, all of those little things we're wishing people. We've got a branch. We've got all kinds of flowers. We have ones that will cut out stamped images, and then we have bonus ones. Now, I want to just show you this one right here. I did not use today. I played with it, but I didn't use it on a card. So I have a piece of cardstock here, and I ran it through twice. I ran it through like so, and then I ran it through again like so. So I kind of went end to end here, and I sponged a little bit. I hope you can see the pretty yellow there. So this die actually gives you like almost a stencil effect, right? So it's not going to cut out the shape. It's just going to make marks in your paper that are really pretty, especially if you have something behind it. So I did not use this die in a card kit, but please feel free to play with it at home. If you have the set, maybe you're already checking it all out. If you don't, you know, this is kind of be your peak, but I'm going to keep these dies pretty close by because we're, as mentioned, we're doing all the cutting together. So these are your card kits. This is the Delightful Wishes spread. It is on page 34 and 35 of the mini catalog. There's also a little bit on page 33. There's a lot of samples with this one. This was like a big, it's really big. It's a suite because it's got some vellum here. It's got the little bumblebees. It's got the ribbon. And it shows you kind of all of the things that it does. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Oh, nope, we're going to continue on. This is such a big suite. It's going on to page 36 and 37. Oh my goodness, right? So it's going to show you in the catalog, or if you go online, you may be able to see the catalog. I would recommend looking at the catalog online if you don't have a physical copy. All the ways that you can use this as well. And we're going to work on that tonight too. So let me move this out the way here. And I'm going to, oh, you know what? One more thing. Let's talk about how much does this bundle cost, Julie? Let's take a look. The bundle itself is $49.50. So it is at least under 50, which is nice. You get a lot of, as mentioned, a lot of dies in this one. So that's really fancy. All right, so here are our card kits. Now, sometimes I show you all the inks that I use for the class, and this one is a whomping lot of them because there's so many things that I'm doing with these. So I have a lot of ink here, like a lot of ink, right? So feel free to substitute things in. You're going to see some pumpkin and coral and Cajun, some blues and pinks and greens. Of course, yellow, right? But I do like to go a little crazy sometimes. So this kit has a lot of the green in it, right? The green and yellow that you expect from the suite. This one is completely not normal, right? We got some lagoon with some different DSP. This one again is going to kind of lend itself back to the suite because we're using the same paper again that's in the suite. And this one is not. This is like a wild card, right? We are doing a black and white card with some pops of color. So these are the cards that you're going to be looking forward to checking out with me. And we're going to start with our first card. And as mentioned, we're going to go like completely from scratch. But I'm going to show you card number 1 first. And I want you to notice the Everyday Arches dies because I love them so much. We played with them last week, so if you missed that class, it is available on replay. And there's a teeny tiny piece of white in here, so don't miss all the little bits, okay? So this is what comes in your card kit, just like this. So you're getting your card base. Card bases will be coming to you like this. You're going to have to score them and pop them into half now. I just wanted to make that mention. I had been scoring them in the past, but I'm inserting some cardboard in my packaging, and you'll get a full, well, it's a half a sheet, but you're going to make a card base out of it, or, you know, use that half sheet for something else if you want to. You're getting some white. This is the Fern 3D embossing folder, so we're getting that piece on there. I am sending you this week. I didn't last week, but I'm giving you the arch, a couple of arch dies, Everyday Arches. I love them. So cute, right? And then you're getting some things that you're going to be using for die cutting and all that good stuff too. So we're going to talk about these. Remember how I said you're going to want some adhesive sheet? Actually, I have some scraps here that I'm going to be kind of working with because as I was running late today, I didn't quite do all the things that I wanted to do. I'm just going to trim this up. So my scraps, of adhesive sheets. It's nice to have a sheet that's going to fit your pool party. In this instance, we're going to do the very delicate detail die in pool party. So I'm not sending adhesive sheets. I'm just going to recommend that you get them unless you like to use like really tiny bits of glue, or you don't have a problem using tape runner, right? Like whatever it works for you. But I'm going to just show you that you're peeling off one layer of your adhesive sheet, you're popping it onto your, we're doing pool party in this instance, and we're going to die cut this together. So you're going to see how this all works, but I just wanted to share with you, that's what we're doing. Now, before we get going crazy, let's do some stamping, because Julie's been talking for a while and we haven't done any stamping yet. For this card, I have to look to see. We're going to use, I should probably bring my inks back this way so I'm not reaching across and then you're like, what are you doing? Mossy Meadow is going to come around our Fern 3D embossed piece. And then we're going to use Pecan Pie. We are going to use Pool Party. So many inks, so little time. Okay, Pool Party. I'm looking to see what else did I use on this one. I believe I used Daffodil, and I think I used Cajun. I have notes somewhere, but it's more fun to like guess, right? Like I can just guess what I used. All right, let me bring in a scrap paper because we're probably going to want to stamp on something. So scrap paper it is. All right, we're going to start with simple stamping, and you may think like, whoa, this isn't the simplest stamping. It's all that two-step stamping. So we're going to need our flowers, and we're going to need there's a branch somewhere. We're going to need the branch, and we're going to need the leaves. Now the leaves are stamped on here, and it looks like you're individually stamping them, but you're doing a grouping at a time. So we're going to work on this together. I'm going to show you how to do this because it can be tricky. As mentioned, I had to play on paper to figure this out. So we're going to start with our little twig stick here, and I'm going to kind of stamp it here just to show you. There's a break in between, and that's so that you can get all your flowers and things in there. Now, if you mess it up, don't worry, because you can cover it up. I'm a good cover upper myself. We're going to put this on right up kind of in the middle-ish. So I'm going to lift this up real quick, and you can see that's the Pecan Pie little twig right there. Now, you're going to want to do that before you do any of your other flowers and things, because it gets trickier from here. We're going to start with the Daffodil Delight. This is going to be our background. So you're going to look for the stamp that is just more broad in nature rather than more detailed, okay? So the tricky part here is learning how to line this up. And I always recommend practice on your scrap paper first. I've only done this a couple times. So the good news is in the catalog, it actually shows you samples so you can kind of see the orientation. The second thing that I discovered after I looked at the catalog is the case right here shows you the top. So this is the top of this flower and then the top of this one, so that you can figure out, okay, so this little one like kind of almost looks like a leaf is actually the top. So when you line up that little leaf right there with the top of your twig, I just have to move this backwards a little bit, and you're going to actually kind of angle, it's funny, you're going to angle your stamp a little bit. I'm trying to do this, and we're going to try to line up like where we think the breaks are and the little petals, right? So this flower landed right in between that break of Pecan Pie. This one's off a little bit, but that's okay, right? They're pretty close. So there is our daffodil. Whew. Step one of the flowers, right? As mentioned, two-step stamping. So we're two-step stamping. I need to clean this a little bit because as we go, we're going to keep using these. Now I brought in Cajun Craze because I wanted something a little bit darker here for the inside details of my flower. And once again, we're going to have to look at our case and go, wait, which way does this go? So if I look at this, I'm going to see there's two tiny little lines right here. If I find them on my stamp, that's the top. That's going to go on this section right here. So we're going to just ink this up, and we're going to line this up best we can at the top, and we're going to go for it. And there we go. If it's off, it's okay, right? Because it's still artistic. It doesn't have to be perfect. To be artistic. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I just need to clean this up real quick. And we have a really good start to this card. Like, how pretty, right? And just because the suite has all this yellow and orangey, you know, colors, these could be pink and purple. They can be whatever color you want, right? You don't have to be, you know, hung up on, oh my gosh, everything should be yellow. I feel like we see that sample in the catalog and we're like, whoa, everything should be yellow. All right, now we're going to do the leaf. This is the leaf stamp right here. And this again is the top one. So they kind of come down like this. So this largest one is over to the left. So if we keep that in mind, this is Mossy Meadow, by the way, that I'm stamping on here. So we're going to add in our leaves And I'm going to just kind of like, you may see my head in this because I got to figure out kind of where they go. So you're kind of along the stem here a little bit into the flowers, and just like that, we stamp something really fun and pretty. So there was a lot of steps to that, sure, but I think the more you do it, the better you get. And also, if you're going to do something like this, maybe you want to stamp a whole bunch at a time, just so you can be like, you're in the groove, you just go, right? We're going to bring in a little bit of Pool Party. There is some Pool Party in this card. We've got it in our sentiment piece. We've got a little background piece here, and it also has a little bit of this Pool Party right in our designer series paper. So these little cute little spots are just like this. We're stamping the same thing. And all I did was I kind of started here at the bottom, and I don't really care if I'm stamping like over top of my already done items. We're just adding in that little bit of blue, just adds a little bit of shading in there, and it's really cute. It breaks up that white and just helps it to look a little bit nicer. All right, let me clean that off real quick in case we need it again, because I can't remember what we're doing on every card this very second. But we are going to stamp on this tiny little white piece right here. This is going to be done in Mossy Meadow, and we're doing You Well, because this is going to fit on this card nicely. As mentioned, there's all those wishing yous, and this is wishing you well. And I'm going to stamp this just a little bit toward the left, but not like way over to the left. So there we go. We have You Well. This is going to come down on here. You're going to see that it fits right across our little everyday arch, and we're going to cover up a little bit of flowers right here, and we're going to bring the wishing down on top of that. Now for the details. This is exciting, right? We're going to bring in the Pool Party. This is Pool Party cardstock. I put adhesive sheet on it, and then we've got the white here. This is in your card kit. This is what you need at this point to do a little bit of die cutting. So we're going to do all kinds of die cutting tonight. And I'm going to bring this in, hopefully right about there. Back it out a little bit. And we're going to put our pieces of cardstock right here onto the platform. I've got this set up for die cutting, which is your base plate, your shim, number, I can't remember, I think it's a number 2. Then maybe 3s are your clear plates. We're going to do one on the bottom, one on the top. So I've got the really intricate die with the Pool Party, and I've got the more outline die, the bigger one with the white. I'm going to go this way. I flip my plates back and forth depending on when I see them start to bow just a little bit, because that way it keeps them flatter for longer if you just kind of continuously shift them around. Okay, so let's bring these off the platform. So here you can see this says wishing. You can kind of make it out, right? Because we're creative people. We can figure out what that says. And that's going to be the background part. I don't want my dies to go too far. We're going to be doing some more die cutting. And then this one is the one with the adhesive sheet on it. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a look, and look how cool. If you wanted to use this on a card, right, you technically could. This says wishing it, says it really well. Now I'm gonna tell you right now that the little eyes in wishing, and there are 2 of them, as you're spelling this in your head, W-I-S-H-I-N-G. There are 2 eyes, and there are 2 the tiniest little dots. I'm probably not going to do them live because, holy smokes, I've never seen. I think this is the tiniest die section that I've ever seen in my life. So we're probably just going to focus on wishing right here. This is going to lay onto this piece, and they will be right here on your table. So I'm gonna pick one up right here and show you. I don't know if you can see this. This is the back side of it. This is how tiny this little wishing is. Now you can find them, and I did put them on this card. I put the eyes right here, but they're so tiny. It's like, it's work. And it's, you know, not necessarily, you know, needed. My go-to thought here is that if we brought in maybe like this is Pool Party cardstock, but if we brought in like Pool Party marker, we could just color that in, and no one's going to be the wiser, right? So I'm pulling my adhesive sheet off, and it's going to pull out all those little bits that didn't come out completely for die cutting. And now we're just going to line this up. So the sticker part makes it easy, right? I'm just going to go ahead and attempt my best here at putting this on here. If you don't push this down too harshly, you can actually pick it right back up again and adjust it and move it, because this wishing is kind of, it's so thin that you can kind of wiggle it around. When you're happy, you're going to go ahead and press that down. Now, of course, if you're using glue or tape, you know, whatever you think, right? So here is wishing without the eyes on here, and this is wishing with, and it really looks cute with that on there. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna grab Pool Party marker. Oh, let's see, Pool Party, is this Pool Party? It sure is. I'm gonna use this little kind of nub end, not the brush end. These are the new and improved, if you haven't grabbed these yet. These are new and improved. They're so fancy. Love using these now. New and improved markers. I highly recommend them. In fact, you get to pick out 2 sets of these. If you join Stampin' Up! During celebration, you get 2 sets of markers as part of your join kit, which is fantastic. So there it is. I'm going to show you this again. I just put that in with a little bit. I just feel like that's way easier, right? So let's put our card together. We got our first card here. Oh, we forgot to do our embossed shading here. So let's do our little shading. Bringing your scrappy paper again. So even though this is Old Olive, I'm bringing in Mossy Meadow. Mossy Meadow. Here we go. I'm just going to come down and do a little bit here on the outside edges. I'm not going to go super crazy. Different tones of green, but it all goes together. Mossy and Old Olive, they're good friends. They're color buddies. If you haven't heard about color buddies yet, it is such a thing. There's a thing called color buddies. And there are 2 colors that really work beautifully together, and this happens to be one set of color buddies. Okay, so there's a little bit of shading on there. That's beautiful, right? We're going to bring this in and we're going to start putting this together. So now we're just on to assembly. So, and if you love this card set, make sure you get your order in this week. Celebration is kicking. It is amazing. Anybody that was waiting on the little $120, when you spend $120 you get a bundle, and it's got that cute little detailed heart. That is now available again. That was sold out for a good 10 days or so. So it's back in stock, which is exciting. It's a fantastic item. I think I used that die last week as well. All right, let's put some more things together. So we're just putting our layers together. Now this piece is going to come across the middle like this. So you can decide which one you want to have up and down, keeping in mind that this is going to cover up some of this too, right? So you sometimes you might want to dry fit it and go, where do I get the best value of my flowers? A little bit of yellow in here. I think we're going to go this way. Oh, and of course, if you want all green, you have that option. The back side of here, this DSP matches all of what we got going on here super beautifully. We're just popping this DSP across the top, right over top of our Fern 3D embossing section. We're going to put this cute little scrap of Pool Party down. Now this is just kind of bringing in that blue color. It's just reinforcing the blue. So there's the blue in this pattern of paper, and we have blue in our wishing, and it just kind of helps us to use up scraps, because we all end up with teeny tiny scraps, right? So we paid for the paper, let's use the paper. So I love to use my scraps really creatively on my cards, because I mean, I do throw some away because there's always so many little pieces, but if I can use it on a card, it just makes me happy. And there you go, right? So we've got that in there. We're gluing this together. Now this is all going down flat because the wishing is going to come across so widely on this card that if I popped this up, which would be my normal thought, pop up the arch, it just wouldn't like work together well. And the wishing is super tiny. There's just no way that you could get dimensionals on here, but what you could put on here if you wanted to is foam adhesive sheets. So if you're not even sure what those are, there is such a thing where you can die cut the foam adhesive sheet to match your letters, and it would pop the whole thing would pop out as a dimensional, and then you could do that too. I forgot to put you well down. Let's put you well. You well is going to go down on here. Totally forgot that part before we put down the wishing. So we're going to kind of put that down here. It's going to cover up a little bit of our flowers, but it's okay. We still see some of that. I got to pick this up carefully. It's got lots of glue on it. And right side up. We want to do this right side up. All right, so I'm going to snug this wishing right down over top of the white that the U well was stamped on. So it kind of just helps it to blend together without having a gap in between where you're like, what in the world was going on with that card right there? All right, we need ribbon. Ribbon. You're going to have a spool if you spend $55 with me this week. I'm going to send you a whole spool so you can just work off of it. I'm not sending ribbon with this card kit. So if you spend $45 and get the card kits, or 50 or 54, right? Anything under 55. You can just add in whatever ribbon or embellishment that you want. But when you have the ribbon, you can work off the spool, which is my favorite thing to do because then I don't have to measure it. Now this is just going to go on here as mentioned. It's a really light ribbon. It's thin, narrow, beautiful. So it works really well with the glue dots. So I'm just going to put a glue dot right down here in the corner of my UL sentiment piece, this little white piece. Of course it's sticking to my fingers terribly. So I'm putting it right here. I rolled it up a little bit too while I was wrestling with it. I rolled it up. All right, so this little knot of the bow is going to come on here. We probably want to like maybe chop these down. Isn't yellow the most cheerful color too, right? So get wishing you well. This is a nice little get well card, and I have someone in mind for this one, so I've got to get this in the mail shortly. But there is a card number 1. We did it. It was awesome. There was not too much of a struggle, right? And I absolutely love it. So I hope you guys are loving it too. I'm going to check comments real quick while you're checking out. Wishing you well, making sure you guys are doing. Hi, Lori. Your ribbon will be in hopefully this week. Lori wants that pretty yellow ribbon. Lynn, oh my gosh, great minds. Use the marker. I love it. That is so awesome. Yeah, and I did, as mentioned, I did add the little dots, but it was work. And I think the marker is just, it's perfect. Like no one looking at it, no one would know that one was a marker necessarily, right? Okay, so let's move on to our second card. That was card number 1. We're going to move on to something a little different in color, something that doesn't have a lot of yellow in it. Make sure my envelope's empty. And this is what your card kit is going to look like. So you're getting some of these Spotlight on Nature dies. These are great circle dies. You may have to clean out some of the little pieces of cardstock will be stuck because they do. This one takes a little bit of work, so I'm just getting rid of that right now. But you're getting these in your card kit, all kinds of white paper, and we're going to do stuff with it. And you're also getting, oh my gosh, look at this. You're getting something in Lost Lagoon. This is a Lost Lagoon base. And these are some beautiful papers. And you could use that side. I don't recommend this side necessarily. I mean, it could work depending on what you're doing. It is cute, but I really love, I love the gingham check. So here's some blue with some options. Lost Lagoon blue. We got flowers. We got these little kind of diamond dots. Let me find my card and I'll show you what we're making next. So this one, I managed to work in the yellow ribbon, even though we're working with a lot of Lost Lagoon, because I made my flowers have a little bit of yellow in here. And we've got some soft sea foam and some pretty in pink. And this one is wishing you a happy birthday. So let's put this one together. And you know what we're going to do? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change it up from the floral print to this print because I want to see what it looks like. So even though these flowers are absolutely gorgeous, we're going to put these down on this side and check out my cardstock here and see which side looks better up. I noticed as I was cutting these up, I need to replace my blades. I was cutting some cardboard recently and it really dulled them up. My goodness, it was crazy. So we're going to just do a little bit of gluing here with parts and pieces in your card kit. And then we're going to get into all of the fun bits with the delightful wishes, stamps, and dies. So when I start out the beginning of the card, really just kind of putting things together, it just gives you an idea of what you could do with your card kit if you wanted to use any other products at home, like whatever other stamps and things you want to move in. So I'm just gluing some layers together because I love layers. And we're going to pop this one on here right kind of in the middle. There we go. Just like so. And then we're going to pop this one on as well. Kind of making almost like a cross formation. You could definitely move them to this first layer right here. You could move to the right or left. This one right here, you could move up or down. But this is where we're going with it. And then we have our beautiful dies that are going to go on here. And of course, you could do whatever you want with this. This is a really fun card kit, just like this. But we're going to use all of these things and we're going to do all kinds of stuff to them. We're even stamping on this white one. So let me set this aside for right now so we don't need this. Let's start with this cute little white die cut. And let me find the inks that we need for this one. We're going to use Soft Sea Foam Pretty in Pink. We're going to use Lemon Lolly and Lost Lagoon. So these ones, these classes, I'm using quite a few inks on all kinds of stuff. We're going to start with Pretty in Pink here and our little circle as mentioned. Remember that little cute that little set of dots that we did on our first card? I really like this stamp. I just think it's fun, right? It's just these three little like kind of starbursty little flowers, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna stamp a few things here, just like that. I'm not doing the entire thing, but I'm doing a chunk of it. Maybe a chunk more. Depends on how happy you are with your stamping. So there we go. I think we're good there. That piece is beautiful and done. I'm going to close this up because we're going to start with other things before we get back to this. So let's bring in the biggest piece of white that's in your kit in Lost Lagoon ink. We're going to stamp the word wishing. So this is in your stamp set as well as the dies. So you have two dies that say wishing. You have a stamp that says wishing. We're going to stamp this right on here. And we're going to be die cutting this out. So I'm going to set that aside because we have to do a little die cutting with that one. Now we also need, let's see, we're going to die cut this one with our label. So I'm going to just set that aside right now. We're going to die cut that, and I'm going to stamp that afterwards. I'm not going to stamp it first. But you have these other pieces, and we do have to stamp on those. So let's do our flowers in two tones of ink, but two-step stamping. That's where I was going with that one. All right, so we have these cute little flowers right here, backgrounded in detail. And we're going to do 3 of them. This might take a little bit. We're going to do, you know what? I wanted to die cut these and then stamp. Maybe I'll think about that. Die cut, then stamp. Leaves the same way. You know what? Yeah, we're going to go that route. Let's do some die cutting. As mentioned, we have a lot of die cutting to do, and there's only one stamp that does the flower, so we're going to have to die cut this 3 times. And the leaf. And do we need anything else? We need this. Okay. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna bring in our die cutter again. We're gonna do some die cutting. We have some things that we need to do. All right, so back to the basics here. Wishing, we stamped, and the outline die is right here. So we're gonna pop that on there. I may move that slightly this way. Let's see what else we can get on here. I always recommend that you cut apart your cardstock. You have enough here to do 3 of these little flowers. We're going to start with that one. I know, don't look at the flower. Don't even, it's okay. I'm going to just like die cut them one at a time, and we're going to stamp them afterwards. And then we're going to see if we really have enough paper, because if not, I need to adjust my card recipe. So I'm just kind of giving myself a rough idea of what I need here. This needs to go this way to be effective as a die cutter. And then probably could, all right, we're going to do those right now. Let's bring in our top plate. Let's put that on there, and let's see what happens next. Okay. 1 and wishing. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Okay. I'm going to bring this back. Now we have to do our sentiment piece, which I'm going to stamp afterwards. I'm going to move the wishing over there, and then we're going to bring in our flower and a leaf. And I've already lost track of how many, what paper I have for what. So we're going to do a flower and a leaf, like so. There we go. I'm holding the other clear plate under my armpit as I stand here over my die cutting machine, because where else would I put it, right? Like if I set it on a surface, it'll get lost. Okay, I know you know how that goes, right? Like, this is craziness. All right, there's that one. Here's our next flower and leaf. I'm going to just bring this back through, and we're going to do one more. And this is why I try to do these things ahead of time, because that way you don't have to watch me do repeater. I do love when we get an extra, I feel like I lost paper somewhere. We get an extra, couple of dies that repeat the same thing. It's always really nice. I'm going to bring this paper over because I seem to have misplaced. If I had extra paper, I don't know where it went, but that's okay. Oh, I see that let's change this. Let's put the big one on the big paper and the little one on the little paper, and then maybe when they move a little bit, we're still okay. So this is why I like to die cut now and then stamp after, is because it really is hard sometimes to get these outlines to stick around. And it's very tedious to pop tape over them every time. So I do like to do it this way now. So let me move this out of the way. We're going to finish our stamping and we're going to put this card together. And it's going to be so pretty. All right, so we need the pretty side up on all of these. And I'm going to position my flowers in such a way that this little part right here, it's kind of like it's the farthest one out. I'm putting it at like 5 o'clock on my work surface, just so that I know where to line up the stamp each time I stamp them. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing here with these little leaves. All right, we're coming back now with the lemon lolly. Hopefully this works out and you can see it well. And then we're going to find the same little pop out part. I might have to rotate this for a second. Nope, I think it goes this way. This way. Nope, this way. I turn them around and around, and then I just finally give up and go, you know what, that's good. That'll work. Okay, so this is going to go on here. 1, 2, and the third one right here. 3. 1, 2, 3, just like that. There's our lemon lolly. Cute little yellow flowers. We're going to bring in pretty in pink with two-step stamping. And this one is a little bit trickier. I have a harder time lining this up. I think I want to go. I was trying to figure this out. I feel like this is what the story goes. They don't necessarily line up perfectly, and that's just so that you don't have to worry about lining them up perfectly. So just find a spot where you feel like, you know what, that looks pretty good. And I'm keeping that, again, that little outside edge is like kind of at my 5 o'clock. So there we go. We have our flowers done. Now we're going to do our soft seafoam leaves. I love soft seafoam when I'm doing kind of a softer tone flower or card. So we're just doing 1, 2, and 3. Photopolymer really does help you to line them up pretty easily. So there are our leaves. Now we can put this together. I'm going to show you the wishing. Oh, we haven't stamped our sentiment yet. Look how cool this came out. Wishing. So this is there's so many ways that you can use these dies, and one of them is just stamping the word wishing and then die cutting it with the bigger stamp, the bigger die, like we used in the first one. We kind of did this as the background and then we put paper over top of it. This is the sentiment piece, a little banner that's in the set, and it's very tiny, but I'm looking for, it does fit, you a happy birthday. So we're going to bring in pretty in pink. And I'm going to bring my card back in here in just a second, because you probably want to remember what I'm making. You're watching me and going, what are you doing? Okay. Wishing you a happy birthday, and in pink, right? So a little bit of pink and blue, some yellow and some soft green, really pretty colors. Very springy, right? Okay, let's bring this baby in and we're going to put her together. So once again, this is what we're making. These are all our parts and pieces. Let's go this way. Okay, I'm going to glue this onto this Lost Lagoon. So we've got the 2 different dies. Again, it doesn't matter. It's a circle. So it doesn't matter like which way's up, which way's down. You can decide that as you're kind of putting it onto your card. Did I pop this on dimensionals? I sure did. Okay, so we're going to build this first. This is the way we're going to build it. This is the way I built it. You can do however you want, but I'm going to show you what I did. So I just kind of put some glue down here in the upper corner, probably about 1 o'clock, and I put down a leaf. I'm going to put down another leaf right here, maybe about 3 o'clock on my circle. And I'm going to make this this is a 2 o'clock flower, in case you're keeping time with me at home. So we're going to pop that on there, and if I hold it like this, so you got 1, 2, and 3. That's my first set of flowers. Now I'm going to bring down this one down this way, and I'm going to bring kind of over here, maybe around 8 o'clock. We're going to pop on this one, and they can come off. If you look on the back, they can come off a little bit. Don't feel like you got to keep everything super snug onto the circle. The overlay effect is really, it's kind of pretty. I'm going to put a leaf down here at about 7, and then we're going to bring in the next flower. We're going to call it like 6:30. Maybe I want to rotate that a little bit this way. That's the beauty of the glue, right? You can rotate a little bit. Maybe this needs to come out a little bit. So there we go. So we've got some, almost looks like a plate, right? With some flowers on it. And I'm going to go ahead and put down my ribbon next. So you're going to see this lovely ribbon here on the card. I kind of just did like a faux bow. Let's call it a faux bow, right? So I'm taking some ribbon, and I'll give you a measurement in case you're like, wait, what? So about 4 inches up and down 3 times. So that would give us, all of my math experts are out there saying that would be 12, about 12 inches of ribbon. And I'm just kind of holding it together in like, if I hold this like a pinch, it almost looks like a bow. Hopefully you can see that, right? And because this is so thin, and what we're covering things, and when we're covering this over, also with thin items like our sentiment piece, these are skinnies. These are super skinnies. I'm actually going to use a glue dot in the middle of my my little pie plate here, and I'm going to pop the center of this right, like pretending it's all knotted up, but it's really not. It's not knotted. But you can see here it almost looks like kind of upside down bow, right? That looks like more like a bow, but we're going this way with it. I can't help it that it's upside down. It's just how it landed. All right, so we're doing this, and then we're going to add on wishing right over top of it. So the wishing is going to come right over top of here, and this bow is like, this bow needs a little bit more work, I think. My first bow was very, very compliant. This one is like being a little naughty. This one is like giving me some trouble. So I'm going to add an extra glue dot because I definitely want it to stay in place. Stay, please. And this one right here, this wishing, which I'm squishing up. I'm wishing, squishing, squishing, wishing. This is going to be just glued on. I'm just going to add some glue in a few spots here. Not too much. Or not too many spots either. I feel like I have a lot on there. I may need to daub a little bit off. So when you want to daub a little bit off, maybe you have too much glue. Just pop it on a piece of paper. The excess is going to come down here onto your paper. Now that's going to be sticky. And then we're going to kind of come back here, and we're going to see, where do I want my wishing to go? I want it to go like this, I think. Okay, so it will stick where it's going to stick, and where it doesn't stick, it's okay, because it's going to stick where it's going to stick, right? So it's still going to be on there. Now the "You a Happy Birthday" that we have stamped on this little banner, believe it or not, the mini dimensionals work. I was like, this seems so tiny to me. Like, it is super tiny. You want to make sure you put your dimensionals so they're like flat. There's flat edges, right? They're like almost hexagon shaped, maybe. So the flat top and bottom, just to make sure that they're not like overflowing this teeny tiny sentiment. And I'm only going to put on 3 because some of this may fall a little bit off of my circle, and it's just going to come right over here, wishing you a happy birthday. And I'm snugging this kind of up next to underneath. And it's okay to cover the G. We all kind of know how this works, right? It says wishing. So don't be afraid that you have to have like every letter in every section in sight for someone to read it. It's okay if it overlaps a little bit. I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back of my Spotlight on Nature circles and finish this up, making sure I'm putting this the right way up. Probably a good idea to make sure my card opens right like that. Okay, good, good, good. Now, if you want to center it, you can. I have mine just a little bit farther over to the right. I would probably need to be careful with my envelope. This will just fit in. My wishing probably could have gone a little bit farther that way. But there it is, wishing you a happy birthday. Now, the one that I just did with you has way more pink, and I think it's super cute. This one I kind of covered up. I'm just looking at that and realizing how much pink I covered up. Do you think I could probably get another like stamp or 2 in here while we're like hanging out together? Let's try it. I don't know. I'm a wild child sometimes, right? So I'm going to just like throw some more pink on here. Oh, yay. It worked out. It's beautiful. Okay, so be generous with your pink sprinkle flowers. I think they're really cute. And that is our wishing you a happy birthday card. So again, it is definitely not full of yellow. We have a little bit of yellow in here, but so I moved in enough yellow that we could work in our yellow ribbon. So, oh, and what do you think? I need to know. Do you like the flowers better? Or do you like, we're going to call this like, that's more of a solid dotted pattern. I don't know what you want to call this one. So flowers is the original. I kind of like this one. It's a little bit darker and more fun. I like changing things up. That's always fun too. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. I'm going to just move my camera slightly. So if this is going to make you dizzy, don't look. I am, trying to get this toned in a little bit better. My goodness. Hopefully this is all working out well. But there we go. There's our 2 cards. Beautiful. I love them. I think they're really pretty. All right, we're going to move on to card number 3. And looking at my crooked work surface. Great, let's see. Jess loves the blue. I love that you love the blue. Oh my gosh. Hi, Corey. I know I'm really late tonight. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Lynn, you guys were thinking the same questions. I want to know what you guys were thinking. Is that DSP from the suite? Some of it is, some is not. Okay, yes. So Lynn is like gingham scrapbooking pack. Yes. Let me, let's stop and talk a little bit about paper. I have paper all over the place today because I used a lot of different paper. I'm going to share with you some of the papers that I used. Let's just take a quickie peek. Now, if you're not sure what papers there are out and about, there are a whole bunch of them in the online store. Look at this one, right? So you're going to see mixes and matches. This one right here is the Everyday Happiness. No, this one is Floral Delight. Sorry, Floral Delight. So I've got the black and white patterns here with Floral Delight. Also has some really fun patterns right here. Floral Delight. This is one you want to look up. This is the yellow one, which is the Everyday Happiness. This is part of the suite with the Delightful Wishes. So you're going to see some of these papers. This is the one we just used. This one is from the Mixed Media. No, this is Mixed Media. This is Mixed Media. This is Everyday Happiness. My goodness sakes. So yes, there are different paper packs here. I should have written them down a little bit better. You can see how some of these fun floral patterns and such. Like, oh my gosh. I love mixing in different papers from different things. This will tell me right here. This is this one. Mixed Media is item number 164638. This is where all of these, the black and white and these beautiful, these gorgeous patterns right here are in that pack. Okay, so that's that one. Not the blue one, not the Lagoon, just these florally, these bright ones, but not these ones. Wow, you guys probably can't even keep up with me tonight. You're like, Julie's all over the place. This one right here with the blue that we just used, this Lost Lagoon, which I love. This is called Everyday Happiness. This is like a scrapbooking pack, and I just opened it and I grabbed out. Look at this. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can see this paper without me like totally grabbing it out, but I love these colors. You've got the Lost Lagoons, you've got kind of the soft grays and the wild wheats. So this is a really fun paper pack. Absolutely adore it. I use the two patterns here on that last card. So you can see here these, I love this pack. This one again is called Everyday Happiness. It's item 166632. So I use that one. And then this is these patterns right here, which I've used on, I'm actually using it on two out of 4 cards today. This is the Delightful, what is this called? Floral Delight. Floral Delight, it's upside down. I hope you guys can read it upside down. Floral Delight 164700. And this is, of course, like what you see in the suite with the gorgeous Delightful Wishes. So there's lots of yellow. This is a very yellow and happy paper pack, but I do like to I like to play with different things. I don't like to stick with just like the suite. So you're watching me do all kinds of different things here for this class tonight. And I will share more details in case you are like, wait, what is what? It's just fun to play with paper. I love Designer Series paper. All right, here's our next kit. It's going to be a white card base. This embossing folder I can't stop playing with, so you're probably going to see this for a while. I did this last week too. This is called Plaster Painting. It's got some really cool swooshes in it, and it kind of goes like this. And then it's got, oh, maybe it goes like this. Okay, yep. And then it's got like kind of this detail on the side that I absolutely love this one. So I played with it again. So you're getting a bit of some white here. You've got some daffodil. So we're going back to that beautiful Floral Delight DSP. So you can see here, you've got some patterns that you could probably mix and match with. You've got some things here we're going to do some things with. Pecan Pie, Daffodil Delight. Here's the card. Let's get back to the card here. So, let me come back over and make sure I can see my screen. Where am I on my computer? I am here. Okay, you guys, we got this. We're still hanging out. And this is probably my favorite. I don't know, this one and the last card are like my favorite 2 cards. This one is almost simple and pretty at the same time and really gorgeous. I love the white look. It's really a clean look. So let's talk about some of our layers here and get this put together before we start working on the stamping and the die cutting and the things that we're going to do here. So here we go. There's so many ways that you can use those wishing dies, and the stamp set and etc. So I kind of tried to do something a little bit different on each card. And I think once I get to the end and lay them all out, you'll be able to, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. I get all the things that you could try to do. We're going to put these DSPs together with our Daffodil Delight. And this is a lot of yellow for me. Like, I love yellow, but I know this might be way too bright. This would tone it down quite a bit. I'm just playing with, like, if you flipped it. But I really like the way that it looks. Just my original sample makes me super happy. So I'm not going to be crazy with the papers today. I'm just going to put them together. DSP right here onto this. We're making like little mats. Now this could be cute. I do like this little yellow dotted. This is really white. That I could sacrifice this card and make that change. So this is really pretty. This is what I use in my original. And we're going to try it. We're going to try to, as I just said a minute ago, I'm not going to change it. And I'm like, no, wait, I'm going to change it. The good thing about being creative is you can change your mind at any time, right? So this is just going to come right down in here on top of our card front. And again, I've got some jagged edges here. I got to get new blades into my trimmer. But I just, wasn't going to stop and do that. I'm already running very late for class. In case you're just tuning in, you're like, wow, Julie's on really late tonight. It's because we got a late start. And that's okay. All right, so here are the bones of your card kit, and you've got some more paper here that you'll be doing some fun things with. Now, this again is where you're going to want to maybe grab some of your adhesive sheets that you might have at home. Now, this is how sad my adhesive sheet supply is right now. I know I bought more. I just don't know exactly where they are. So we're gonna do some creative cutting here. And I'm gonna use a scrap, and we're gonna just try to get this to work out to our best advantage. So I'm gonna turn this way and just kind of like, I'll trim off this piece, and then we'll add another piece onto here. So adhesive sheets, they are your friend. They're not a foe. Like, it kind of is a little fidgety to get this backing off of here. Oh, look, there was a thing there. I didn't know it. Sometimes you get that cute little break there in your adhesive sheet, but not always. So sometimes it's a little bit fidgety here to peel off the plastic and keep the sticky on the sheet right here sticky. I'm going to put this on my white. This is a 2x4 piece. So it's a nice dimension to cut your adhesive sheets. And I'm just going to cheat, and I'm going to put this piece right here. And this is kind of how I do this in my craft. Like, this is real-time crafting. Normally I show you like the pretty, like, oh, it's all done, it looks great. But this is what we do, right? We spend our time and we cut up our little bits and pieces, and we make sure that we get our value out of our parts that we pay for. And I'm going to just go ahead and put this right here on the end. And now I have adhesive sheet. These are all my little wrappers, and this is a scrap. Okay, so now I have my adhesive sheet on there. It's going to make it so much easier to cut out this very detailed wishing, which is super skinny but very fancy. So we're going to cut that out. We're going to stamp on this. We're going to stamp on this, and we're going to die cut this. So this is really, like, this is not a difficult card. And I feel like it's a really cute, like, wow card. So let us start with our flowers. We're going to use those flowers that we use in card number 1. The 2-step ones, but we're not going to try to line them up with the twig branch thing. So we're good. Like, this will be easier. This will be easier on you. So we're going to go with pumpkin pie and Cajun craze. And this card will also have some pecan pie in it. So these are the ink pads that we're using for this one. Just once again, we're starting with the background stamp for the flowers, and I'm going to do this in pumpkin pie. Not colors that I tend to gravitate toward. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time with oranges. I almost have a hard time with yellow, but look, that really looks very cheerful. So we're making orange and then darker orange flowers. So I'm going to do, the 2-step stamping is going to be in Cajun Craze. And just as mentioned earlier, in case you're just tuning in, you can use the cover of the stamp case to tell you which way your stamp goes up. So if you stamp them both in this direction, you'll be able to layer this one over top of this one. So hopefully that makes sense. But we're going to go ahead and do that right now with this guy. And feel free. Don't be afraid to rotate your stamp. Just because you have it mounted in one direction doesn't mean that's the way it goes. Sometimes you have to turn it a little bit. So feel free to turn it. So there we go. There's our flowers, just like that. That was super easy, right? All right, we're going to die cut flowers, sentiment. We're going to do something with it and these. So you need these 3 papers with your die cutting machine. Let me bring mine back in. I'm going to do this again. So here we go. We are going to, on our platform, we've got this pecan pie cardstock. Will be beautiful with our little twig branch right here. Okay. Then we're going to do this piece right here, which it looks like I have orange right there. I got some orange on my finger and I kind of got that on there, but I'm using this because I already got the sticky paper on it. So this one might just have a tinge of orange in it. That's okay. Wishing is going to go on here, and that's the wrong one, Julie. Let's be more specific. Does anybody know where I put my other die? Hang on a second. Hold please while I look. Okay, I found it. I found it. It was hiding. The magnets stick together on my magnet sheets. Okay, so here is wishing. If I get creative, I might be able to kind of maybe avoid that yellow smudge in the middle. I don't know. All right. We're gonna do our best. I'm gonna call that good. We're gonna pop these 2 together through the machine, and then I'll come back and do the flowers afterwards because I'm just wondering how that's gonna all work out. The power of live TV. So there's my little twig, really cute, right? And then we have the wishing. Look, my smudge is still there, so hopefully I don't have too much on my little die cut. Now let's bring in our flowers that we stamped. That was 2-step stamping, and there is a die that will die cut them just like this. So you're going to just surround your stamped image with the die, line it up, pop on your clear plate, and run it through. Now this is fun because my expectation was not met. I'm going to say that again. This did not do what I thought it was going to do. I thought it was going to cut these apart so that there was like a whole bunch of flowers, and what we get is 3 together, and then we get 4 separate. I really thought it was going to separate all of them, but the reality is this just makes it easier when you put it on your card. Now you don't have to glue as many flower pieces. So I was like, oh, that was a pleasant surprise. All right, we're going to bring back in our card here. I do need to get this. I would save this because this has sticky sheet on it, and it also has a spot here where I could maybe die cut something out. So we're going to set that aside. I need to get out my sentiment with the little sticky paper on it, and then we're going to bring in the pokey tool. So you take your pick tool. These dies have little like kind of release holes in them, so you just poke them from the back. Hopefully that releases them. You don't want to poke them too hard though, because you're going to like poke something, right, like rip your paper out. But as soon as you have a little bit of wiggle room, you can get that in there. And again, look how thin that is. I would not want to glue that. And I'm not keeping the eye on this one either, by the way. It's right here in case you can zoom in. It's super tiny. We're going to pretend it doesn't exist. Okay, let's do something fun with this. So this is where we're going to put our sentiment. You were here, which sounds like a statement, right? You were here. Here we go. You were here is going to be done in pecan pie. So rather than, I mean, this would be gorgeous. Heat embossed in white. I think that would be really pretty. But sometimes I like to do a little bit something maybe simpler. We're going to actually angle cut the ends. I'm going to start here with this corner. This is the bottom right. I'm going to start with the corner, and I'm just going to angle it straight up. And I'm going to flip it and do the same thing. I'm going to take the corner and straight up. Oh, I did that wrong. Oh my gosh, I flipped the wrong way. That is not as intended. Now I have like a pyramid. That's not what I wanted. Okay, we're gonna redo. Let's redo this. I believe this was 4 1/4 by. Hold please. Find my trimmer. We have to redo this. This is just gonna look so wonky if I don't. All right, trimmer. 4 1/4. I think this is a 4 1/4 yellow down here. It is. So what do I want for my width? This is the wishing you were here card. My directions say I would like 1 by 4 1/4. So here we go. In case you mess this up at home, right? You do get the card recipes. You get the email PDF when you get my class. Let's do this one more time, shall we? All right, we're starting over again. We're gonna go. How am I gonna go this way? Bottom corner up. And then now I'm like spatially challenged. Flip it. I flipped it upside down. That's what I did. I didn't mean to do that. So if my angle's here and I'm going this way, it's the same angle, bottom up. And that looks so much better, doesn't it? And this one, oh my gosh. All right, so as noted, sometimes Julie just has faux pas, and it's okay, right? All right, so this is our piece that we're going to send our little sentiment on here. It says you were here, and we're going to put this on here toward the bottom because we want room for wishing to kind of be on the same paper. So you were here. This is in Pecan Pie. Get the dog hair off of my ink pad before it drives me crazy. And we're going to, let's open this back up again. Pecan Pie. We're going to do a little bit of sponge daubing. So hopefully you can see there's a huge difference between this one at the top and this one down here. That little bit of sponging along the edges. Oh my goodness, what a day I'm having. That's pretty though. We're going to keep that there. We're not worried about that. That's the back of the card. I just dipped it in an ink pad. Okay, we're bringing in, so we're having fun with ink today for sure. We're going to just go ahead and daub on some color here, and we're just kind of, I don't want to say dimming down, but it's taking some of the brightness away from this Daffodil Delight, and it's just kind of helping the browns to blend in with this card. So just a little bit. We're not going to go super crazy, but you're going to see here, oh my gosh, we need to get our twig out too. Let's work on this guy. Let's get this poked right out of here. All right, here we go. Here is our twig, and then it's in brown, right? So fun fact, this is going to fit right on here. I'm going to put this, I'm going to close this up because so many disasters in one night. I can only handle so many. Okay, so this is going to be glued down. Now again, if you wanted to do with adhesive sheets, you sure could, but okay, my glue is setting up here between, and we're going to just go ahead and a little bit of glue, go. There we go. In a few spots. It doesn't even have to be everywhere. It doesn't have to survive the windstorm. And it's really windy here right now. So if all of a sudden, I'm listening to the wind howling. If I go like blank, it's probably because my electric goes out. But anyway, this little guy right here is going to fit in the bottom corner and kind of angle up to the top. And he fits really nicely on this DSP that we have going on. So here we go. Here is our little twig on here. Now we get to play with the flowers. So this is where you get to be as creative as you want, because you don't necessarily have to use every little branch necessarily, right? So I'm going to start up here. I'm going to actually put the glue down on my paper, and then holding this in my hand, I don't get glue all over. So this little guy is going up here, and this guy is going to go on this one right here. Again, a little bit of glue, and it's on there. This one can come here. Now this is where I'm creative. As I mentioned, creative, right? So this looks like there's a branch there. There's really not a branch there. I'm just pretending there is. I'm putting some glue right here, and I'm putting the flower on, and no one knows the difference. Now this one, I am using kind of like this one, and this is the 3-pack, which is really cool. I will actually put glue on the back of this because it's so big, and it's gonna, you know, depending on which way I put this. I guess I could go this way. No, I want to go this way. Yeah, and again, you can use the end of that and just put that wherever you want. Okay, and then this one, again, I'm going to take some creative nature. I'm not using this little thing right here is going to be covered over by this. So it's like it doesn't exist. But maybe we want a flower down here, right? So maybe I'm going to just put one like right there, and I'm going to make your own branches. That's the beauty of it, right? You don't have to follow the branch guidelines. Just put your little flowers wherever you like. I like it. Okay, so we need to put wishing on here. And our wishing is super thin and white. You remember we die cut it with the adhesive sheet. I got to try to get the, oh, I had it for a second. This little piece of paper. If I can catch the end here, I can pull it right off. Zip it right off. There it goes. I love that part. Okay, so now we have our really thin wishing, and this is going to come on here. I'm going to move this up so that you can see it's coming right on here. It's going to not be completely on the yellow we started with a 1 by 4 1/4, right? The H and the G, they're going to overlap, which is fine. And there's no white little spots for the eyes, and that's okay too, right? We're going to put this on with some dimensionals. And a little bit of sticky here on the overlap of the sentiment is not going to be a situation where you're like, oh, but it's sticky there. It's okay. It'll work. So it's going to come on here. We'll put it on right side up. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? Wishing you were here. We're going to pop that right about here. So there we go. We've got that on there. And what we're missing is a ribbon, beautiful ribbon. Now for this one, I did like a triple bow because I wanted it to be like really fun and festive because this is thin ribbon. So I actually cut 3 inches, I cut 3 sections that are 10 inches in length-ish. Like, right, you don't have to be like super, oh my gosh. Again, working off the spool, you get to like do whatever you want. So I'm just going to hold these 3 together at the same time and attempt to make a bow. Just the regular tie your shoe, knot type kind of a bow. And, you know, feel free to like pull different ones at different like lengths if you want to. Make one a little bit taller, a little bit smaller. You get to decide. It's a fun bow, and you can trim them up as well. You know, if you want to be like, okay, everyone is getting a haircut here. Everyone else is getting a haircut over here. Okay, cool. We got some scraps. And then we're going to put this cute little bow right here on our branch. I'm going to use tear and tape this time because we have 3 pieces of ribbon. That might need to come down a little bit. Okay. There's enough here. There's a substantial amount that you can fit that little piece of tear and tape on there. And when you pull this off, and you pull this off, I'm pulling it off. Like literally I'm pulling this off. All right, this is going to go on here just like there. And it's just super cute. Now, let me see. One of these looks like it's a little tall over here. So you can still make some adjustments if you want to. And then give them another haircut. Just like that. Super cute. Okay, so we did it again. We did a switch up. So I need to know, do you like the yellow flower? So this is the original yellow flower. Or do you prefer the one that's more white? So it's got the little bit of yellow in it. I feel like the flowers maybe pop better on that one, but I really like the yellow one. I think I have to vote for yellow on that one. I'm not sure what you guys are thinking. I would love to know your thoughts. This is card number 3. We're working our way through. We got one more card, and then we're going to be showing them all off at the same time so you can see them all together. I'm looking to see what you guys are seeing. It's like my camera is crooked today, but hey. It's Monday, right? All right, you guys are doing awesome. And oh, Sandra, I am with you. The original is so pretty, right? And then Linda says very springy. Yeah, these are spring, like, right? They look like, I know, we're all ready for all that pretty stuff. Okay, card number 3 is done. Let's do our last card together. Card number 4. This one, we're taking advantage of the extra dies that are in here, and my dies are a big mess right now because I've been pulling them off and not putting them back on the sheets that they necessarily go with. I had those together. I had my branch together. We're going to use the branch again for this one. There's that piece. We'll use that again too. So you can see here how many that we've already played with, and then we're going to play with some of the bigger, we call them bonus dies from this set. So we're going to use these guys. We're going to use these guys. These are like 2-step dies, and then we're going to do all kinds of stuff with leaves. So let me grab those out. And I'm not even touching like everything that's here because there's so much. There's so many things on this. There are really great samples of these cards all over Pinterest, on Facebook. I'm sure you're seeing all the great things. So these are the dies we're going to use. We're going to use this one too. We're going to use this one too. So this is very die friendly. Lots of dies. Black card base. This one's going to be a little bit different. Here's all your pieces. You're getting the Merriest tag. This is the Merriest Trees tag, I should say. That's a nice little set as well. Let me show you what we're making next. This is exciting. Oh my gosh. All right, let me come back over. I want to make sure. Okay, here we go. Here is our grand finale card, and this one is just really kind of fun. I like the almost chalkboard effect of this black and white paper. But wait, you could, if you didn't want to go with this direction, the back side of this is also really pretty. So you've got some really great papers here. You've got this piece right here, but this also has a little bit of black and white. So you could color this if you wanted to as well. But this is the card that we're going to make next, and we're going to take advantage of, as I said, the bonus dies. Let's do our groundwork here. And I have to keep the black designer series paper on this card because I'm adding in so many pops of color here. I really want the black and white to help showcase all of it. So this is going to go on here. Now, before you put this on your card base, you've got this little bonus piece right here. And the reason I put this in here, this piece right here, is because it helps to blend together all of the colors of our flowers, and it makes it not so like jarring, right? We just have like a little piece over here that's like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? So what I did for this piece is I actually just, you know, choose which side you want to be on the edge. I didn't really choose, I'm just gluing. But we're going to put a little bit of adhesive along the end there, and then we're just going to put this piece over top. It is not the same height, and you can just decide how much of it you want to peek out. So there's a little bit of a break in between here. And when you flip this over, now this can go onto your card base as one piece. So we can glue everything down at the same time, and we don't have to like guess where should we put this. So it's all just kind of it's an all-in-one, kind of like an all-inclusive. Here we go. So it gives us that little peak of color right there on the end, and we have our little tag, and from here we're just doing die cutting. We're doing a ton of die cutting. So let's bring in all of our dies again, and we'll just do this one last thing, and then we're gonna finish this card up. I hope I'm not keeping you guys up too late. It's a school night, you know, but here we are. As mentioned, late to class today, playing with stamps for too long. It's really I was just having fun, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's super late. I'm supposed to be at class. I'm never going to make it for 8 o'clock. So then I turned us into an 8:30 class tonight. Okay, here we go. So we're going to put those on. I think we'll just do those, and then we'll do the next set afterwards. So we're going to pop on our top plate. So these are really easy because you don't have to line anything up. They just have to fit on the paper. And this one right here wants to move. I can see it. He's thinking about jumping. Okay, so here's all of our beautiful flowers. I'm just going to slide everything right off to this. Oh my gosh, the static. It's trying to come back at me. Okay, here we go. Let's pop all of our flowers over here. Now these, what I love about the generic flowers is that really they could be any colors that you wanted them to be. Pick your favorites, right? Pick your favorite posy, make a flower. All right, so now we're just going to do the branch, and this time we're doing it in green. Our last card we did it in pecan pie, and we've got a little label here as well that we're going to stamp on. I like to stamp after I die cut. And the good thing about this really tiny skinny label is that if you mess up your stamping, it's really nothing to die cut it again. It's just the smallest piece of paper. It's probably a scrap you might even throw away. So I never feel bad about, oh, I have to re-die cut that and stamp it again, because it's not, I don't feel like I'm wasting paper. I feel like I'm using paper that I would have thrown away maybe. Okay, here we go. We're on to the bits. Let's see what we got here for our yellow flowers. And this is Calypso Coral, by the way. Sometimes this color shows up reddish. I feel like sometimes it looks really red. Let me grab all my dies. Do we have all of them here? 1, 2, 3. There should be another leaf. Oh, here it is. Okay. 4 leaf parts. Did they all come out? Wait a second. This little guy did not. This is a tiny one. We're going to use the release hole here and grab out this little piece. Okay, so we should have 4 leaves. 4 leaf sections, 2 yellow flowers, and then 2 of the Calypso Coral flowers. I need to move my dies over here, and I need to get this one out. And did all these come out? That one came out. This one did not. So there we go. Out they come. So there's all of our parts and pieces right here. We're going to kind of brush aside some of these little crumbs that are inside. So some of these other pieces, they pop out pretty easily. Some of them don't. So you can just bring your brush in. You can use the pokey tool if you want to, like, this isn't the pokey tool. The pokey tool's on this one. Yes, I have more than one take your pick tool. I actually have 3. 2. I have 2 I have 2 here in my work surface. I think I have another one like in reserve. I like to keep like all of my choices for the ends onto ready to go. I don't want to have to flip them around too much, right? I want them ready to go. It's just easy, and they sit so nicely in like a little storage caddy. Okay, so we're gonna bring this card in because you're like, what are we making again? We're gonna bring in let's see, what are we using on this one? I gotta find my colors. Not that one, not that one. Let's see, green, old olive, Calypso Coral, and there should be a daffodil here somewhere. All right, here's our 3 colors for this one: Calypso, daffodil, and old olive. And we're also going to bring in our scrap paper again because we're going to get messy. If I can find it. Oh, here it is. And remember when I glued it, I had glue on it? I found the glue. We might have to like go this way. there we go. There are always the ways, right? All right, so we're going to do some things to these things. We're going to do some things. Let's start with Daffodil. Daffodil Delight, and a little bit of some edging here. So we're going to just go along the edges quickly. Just roughly, right? I mean, we're going to cover up lots of it. This one, you could be a little bit more, and if you want to do it like flat down, you could definitely, you know, do it flat down. So this is going to be put together here. So now it's got like a little bit more emphasis on the flower, right? So there we go. That took like 3 seconds. 3-second steps, but like 100 of them. Calypso coral, and same situation with the flower. Now if I change this little DSP on the side right here to like maybe a purple or a pink, I would make purple and pink flowers. That would be really cute, right? Or if I change it maybe into blues, I could do blue and yellow flowers. Like, you could think of some possibilities for all of the beautiful flowers that you could make. So I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just gonna put some Calypso coral down onto my flowers super quickly, and then we're gonna do the leaves in Old Olive. Let me bring in my leaves. This one is really tiny, so don't lose that one. Okay, put them on my paper here so I can see them. Old Olive, here we go. The biggest leaf is just the easiest one to work with, obviously, right? And then the smaller ones, we're just going to kind of dab them in this way, dab them this, whoops, well, you know, if he wants to stay in the correct front position, that would make me happy. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. So we've added some nice greens, and we're going to bring in Calypso one more time. We're going to do our sentiment. This card says all the best. I want you to notice something is missing on this one. I omitted the wishing. I chose to not use one. It just says all the best. And that way we don't have to do another, repeat of all of the wishing and all that good stuff. So this one just says all the best. Oh, and I opened up my ink, and then I was like, I should glue these. Squirrel just ran across my craft room. I was like, I should do this next. So here we go. Now that the glue's in my hand, I'll just leave my ink pad open for a second and try to not like put my fingers in it. We're gonna just find a spot where this looks good together, glue these together, and we're gonna do the same thing with this one. So these little bits right here, these delicate detail bits, there's not a lot of room for glue, so I just put a little bit wherever I feel like that'll work. Okay, now while this is open and I have my little sentiment piece right here, I would love to stamp this with all the best. As soon as I locate it. All the best. Nope. You, oh, this is right. That's right. This is fun. This says you, so wishing you all the best. My card, however, says all the best. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring in some masking tape. This is painter's tape. And I'm going to cover up the U, and this is, okay, this isn't the lazy way to do it. I'm inking up the entire stamp right now, the whole stamp, just inking it up. Now I'm going to bring in my tape and I'm going to cover up U. So this is like really lazy. I'm just going to leave this on here and I'm going to stamp all the best on here. There we go. All the best. And then I'm going to take this off and I'll clean the entire thing. So that is one way you can do it, or you can mask it, put this in your ink, and then take this off and stamp it. But I was just kind of being lazy tonight, and I just was like, yeah, I'm just going to cover that up after the fact. So I've got all the best on there, and now we're going to put our tag together. So bring in our card kit. This is our tag. So we're working with the tag. Make sure you work with the right side up. We're going to do the bow first because it's easier to do the little bow through this hole and then add all the little flowers and details and such on there. Just trust me, it's just easier. Make things easy for yourself. Again, this is this beautiful, I've been playing with this. I'm kind of sad, like this ribbon is running out. I was very generous with my ribbon, I think, playing with this. So we're going to go ahead and make like a little tied knot here at the top of this tag, and we'll see if I can get this on here. There we go. It's working. I probably should have been a little more generous with my ribbon. This one's going to be smaller. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I like how tiny this is. This might have to be a redo. It's going to be like a bow emergency. All right, well, we're gonna see how it looks, If I don't like it that much, I will take this off and I will start over. It's just a tiny little guy right here. It's a little guy. All right, so speaking of tiny, you're going to see that this is going to come on here, but it's ginormous. Like right here, you see that it is not so ginormous. We don't need it to be this ginormous. We're going to do a little trimming. So we're going to trim our hedges here. We're going to cut this one right off. We don't want that on there. And we will trim the bottom yet, but we're going to do that in a little bit. So let's just go ahead and glue this on from the top down. We're not going to put glue all the way to the bottom. So you can manipulate the length of your plant, basically, right? So I'm going to just a couple of dots of glue. Hopefully you can see there's just the tiniest bits on there. And we're going to put it up here kind of at an angle, just like this. It's okay that it is long on the end, because we are going to do some more trimming. I'm going to trim this way, right over here. I'm flipping this upside down. I'm cutting off the end. So now it comes flush to the end of my tag, and we don't need all those little bits. So much better. And we're going to go ahead and just glue our flowers down. So this one right here, this yellow one, is going to come up here, and it's going to cover over where there's 2 spots, just like that. We're going to put it right there. Super simple. I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back here, and you can figure out which side of the flower looks best up. We're going to go this way. I think I'm running into my bow a little bit. In case I want to change that, I'll bring that down. That's why I said put your bow through first, because once you get these going on here, you might cover up some of this loop, and then it's harder to work with. Okay, so look how cute. How cute is this on a tag? Now this could be a really cute gift tag. If you're doing some cute little packaging for treats, this would work really nicely too. I just recently made some treats, and that's why this little tag was out. And since it was out, I was like, ooh, I should use this on a card for my class this week. So again, that's from the Merriest Trees Dies. I believe that's actually on back order right now, which sounds kind of funny because there's a lot of Christmas stuff that's on back order right now, actually. Because, you know, a lot of people are like, well, we're definitely not buying for Christmas. But if you didn't get it at Christmas time or before Christmas and you still want it, we're still looking for it. So, you know, don't give up. It's still coming back in stock. Okay, so this bigger leaf I put here because I needed to fill my space right here, right? So right here, this is where this bigger leaf is going to go. And you can take advantage of putting it down farther if you want to. This is one where we're going to just freelance it. So I'm putting it down here, so I felt like it looked like really nice, like right in here. Not necessarily a spot where a leaf would go, but once you put it there, it looks like it belongs there, right? Look how cute is that? I love it. Okay, we can pop this onto our card. We're going to put this on with dimensionals. And we are almost done, kids. I thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This was a really fun card class. This is a really fun bundle. And as I said, there are so many samples online that are using this. Most of them are using the yellow paper, that beautiful Floral Delight. I used it on 2 of the card kits, 2 of the cards, but I chose to do some different things. These are a little bit different, right? I wanted to show you that this bundle transcends like just one piece of, or one pack of DSP. You can use it with any DSP. You can use it with any colors too. It doesn't have to all be just yellow, right? I mean, it is really pretty. That's why I did half the class with the yellow. But I had to try out some different color combinations and things too. So I'm just putting 3 of those, again, mini dimensionals fit this little label, like just fit it. And we're going to put all the best right side up. And we're going to put it like right about here, I think. Oh my goodness. I love this one. This one makes me happy. It's just it's funny that the black is so dark. It's not a color I don't think that we tend to use a lot in card making, but when we use it, it really provides like a wow factor. And then here's this one. So you kind of have like the black and white with the oranges here. A little bit of blue because we had to change it up and be, you know, clever and creative. I'm showing you all the cards from class tonight, and some of them have some change ups, right? We use some different DSP. This DSP is the same piece. I want to point out it just is a different section of it. So depending on what ends up in your card kit, you may have more yellow, you may have more white, but it does have the pool party in there. We were able to move that in. So we stamped and die cut our wishing. We did die cutting for the background and the detail of the wishing for this one. We did just the detail wishing for this one. Now, of course, you could stamp this on something and just not die cut it at all. I chose to leave my last card without wishing in it, but that is a really great look at the card class. And I would love to know which card is your favorite. Hopefully this recorded well because I wasn't paying too much attention. The All the Best card is now my favorite. That one was from Jess. All the Best. Ooh, the black one. That's awesome. I love it. Thanks, Lynn. I appreciate that you love all my creations, and I love to hear that. And I also really it makes me like so happy to think I'm inspiring you to try some different things maybe, or to change up the colors that you normally use. And just looking at some of your comments here, I'm so glad you guys joined me. I was running late, so this is awesome. All right, so this is our Delightful Wishes class. If you like these card kits and want to get them in the mail to play with at home, just put your order in with my host code, and through the end of day Friday you will be getting 4 card kits in the mail that you get to play with and have all the fun. I showed you like start to finish what you would do if you had these kits, and that was kind of fun. That was a little bit different for me. Normally I do some prep ahead, and I almost really kind of enjoyed just taking it easy here a little bit and die cutting with you and showing you all the things. So thanks for hanging out. Thank you all my replay warriors. Let me know if you're watching this on replay. I appreciate you so much. All right, I'm going to end. It is 10 o'clock here, so I think that's late enough on the East Coast. So until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, everybody.